And welcome to this week's edition of the Travel Coffee Break. It's Wednesday, it's 5 o'clock, so that's the point when I switch on the, the webcam and get started, regardless of whether anybody's joined or not. And if they haven't, then it'll just be fairly short. I have sent the invite out, as usual, to everybody who follows the Travel Coffee Break on Google+, so that's Google Plus, but if you look for Travel Coffee Break, then you'll find it straightforwardly enough. And in fact, if you look on Twitter, I've just put out a tweet with that link on it anyway. So let me get rid of this thing out of the way. There we go. And just do what I normally do, which is kind of fill you in on stuff that's been going on and caught my attention in the last few days. Actually, today there was quite a lot of interesting stuff. In particular, let's go back a couple of days anyway. The two things that have happened on my patch, as it were. I got a call the other day from some people in Ireland who'd been referred to me for one reason or another, who have just launched. They deal in cloud services, technical stuff, but they've just launched a product called what's it called? Simple Hunter. Actually, there's going to be a range of products, but the key one is Luggage Hunter, which is, I think, actually a really rather neat and very simple way of dealing with the lost luggage issue, because it doesn't involve any identity at all. Let's see if I can find the appropriate page. Here we are here, and if I come back here and find it, you should be able to see it now. This is Simply Hunters, and what they do is they sell labels like this, and you can buy a pack of them, and each label has a unique code on it, so you can stick this on your bag or whatever you like, even on your mobile phone, even on your passport, and they show you somewhere where you should put it on your passport, because apparently there's a special place to put. I didn't realize this, to put here we are, to put labels and things. You've got to put it down by the spine. If you put it there, you may get problems at the airport, they say. So either way, you put this label on, and as you can maybe or maybe not see, that there's basically a little code in here. So what you do is, having done that, you just go to the go online to this site, and you fill in the little box here, activate your tags, and basically you just put in the ID, and then what it asks you for is not chapter and verse as we normally expect. It actually asks you simply for your telephone number, your mobile phone number, and your language, which I think is quite interesting, because that simply means that if you're subsequently you lose something and it is then found, and we are relying on people who find it to be good folk, but all they do is they look at this label, they go online to the website, and fill in that little code, and what it allows them to do is then put in some detail about, I found your bag at the station or whatever, get in contact with me on this number, or ask for Mr. Johns at the left luggage or lost property shelf or wherever it might be, and what it does is it detects if there's a difference. So if they're actually Spanish speaking, writing in Spanish, it'll translate it automatically, and it just simply fires off a text straight to your phone with those details, and then it's up to you to make the contact and everything else. But I think that's quite a neat little way of operating, and it's only, I forget what the prices are now, but it's only for a few euros for a pack. So I thought that was one of the good things. One of the other things that fell, as it were, into my lap the other day was I discovered that one of my neighbours has a rather interesting business. I can't remember how we discovered this, but anyway, they live upstairs, and they're called Taste Croatia. It's Chris and Anna Maria, and basically they are Croatian, and they run a rather excellent stall, more than a stall, I think one of the sort of large shops in Borough Market in London, where they specialise in Croatian food. And if I can find it now, I've just been bringing it up. Here we are. Here's their website, and the point about it is that what they're doing is here's the Borough Market. Tesson, that's the word I'm looking for. A bit more than just a stall, I think. This is where they operate from. But over the years, they've more and more people ask them about the produce, the wines and the cheeses and all of those things, which are very similar to the kind of, they have the same kind of sort of provenance that many Italian foods do. After all, they're only facing each other on the other side of the Adriatic. There's very little difference between them, and it's a lot of people are going, oh, well, this is rather interesting. We're discovering whole new tastes and products and things that are rather excellent from Croatia. It'd be lovely to go there and explore this, to taste it, maybe to learn to cook with these products, that kind of thing. So what Anna Maria and Chris have done is set up. Let me get back to me again. Here we are. Is set up a travel business, and they now have about 6 tours around Croatia, in Dubrovnik, up the north, in the Istrian Peninsula, inland and on the coast, exploring vineyards and markets and food producers in Croatia. And I thought that looks like a very interesting little business, and I've already put it on the Travel Lists website and all that kind of thing, so you can find out about it there. But it's basically tastecroatia.com. What else? Yeah, a couple of things I thought were quite fun. This is let me just get that back up on the screen. Where are we? Here we go. This is a company called Stockenbridge Brakes, which I had actually heard of some time ago, a little while ago. It's a brother and sister family business, and what these guys do, are you seeing it there? I can't see. Yes, yeah. What these guys do is they operate bridge brakes. The clue is in the name there, Stock and Bridge, and you see the way they separated out the logo. But basically, for bridge, and we're talking about the card game now, for enthusiastic bridge players, and they're not alone in this. There are a number of companies. In fact, if I see if I can find my Travel Lists site, why isn't it there automatically? It always comes up by default when I load my browser straight away, so that's why it's not coming up, I guess. Here we go. If I go to here we are, special interest, and let's find them, bridge holidays. Here we are. You can see there are actually a number of people: Alpine Bridge, Begin Bridge, Bridge Overseas. So it's not a it's not a unique idea, but it is interesting that they've done it in such style. Most of these, I mean, I wouldn't want to decry what they've done, but if you look at their sites, they're by comparison a little bit kind of amateur, and it rather looks as if Stockenbridge have actually gone into this in some detail and with some style. So I think that's quite an interesting new project, fairly new company, and the reason it sort of popped across my screen again today was because they've just taken on a very good specialist travel PR company to get the word out there. So you'll probably hear more about Stockenbridge as the days goes on, as time goes on. So let me get rid of that off the screen. Sorry, I have to keep flipping back and forth between windows to do this. And what else was I going to tell you about? The only other thing I think was, oh yes, photos on a plane. This is a little piece that appeared in the New York Times 2 days ago, and it's actually about the business of taking photographs on aeroplanes, which apparently is mostly illegal. When you say illegal, against the rules. The point is that planes are not public places. So the usual journalistic rules that the usual, when people get hassled for taking photographs and videos and the like in public places, they can stand on their rights to do so. In the States, they've got a Freedom of Information Act that enables them, and here in the UK, same sort of thing. But an airplane isn't a public place, and so they're perfectly within their rights, the cabin attendants, to tell you not to. And if you resist, and this is what the article's really about, that there was apparently an incident a little while ago where a plane was diverted to Kansas City so that the police could board and escort off the plane a woman in coach who refused to stop singing "I Will Always Love You" at full volume, pretty much non-stop from the Pacific Ocean to beyond the Continental Divide. And the point was that, of course, everybody immediately stood up. And as the police led her off the plane, the flight attendants were running around ordering the rest of the passengers not to take photos or videos. You're not allowed to take pictures on an aeroplane. And what it raises is this thing where that they can actually say that, but the trouble is, of course, they administer it in a completely haphazard way. So sometimes it's an issue, sometimes it isn't. And they refer to Matthew Clint, who's a travel blogger, who was taking pictures actually of his seat before the departure, because presumably he was going to blog about it and all the rest of it. And a flight attendant told him not to, and he sort of challenged that, and she immediately got the captain, and he was thrown off the plane. So the point is, they've talked to an expert on this, a guy who actually lectures in the States on photographers' rights, and he basically says they have the right to be able to do that. So his advice is to behave like a crafty news photographer and not like a clamoring paparazzo. So do it as low key as possible, and just simply don't draw attention to yourself. So I thought that was quite a useful tip for those of us who are inclined to stand up and take photographs of absolutely everything that moves. So nobody's joined. There were a couple of people who said that they might this afternoon, so too bad, not a problem. As usual, we'll be back again next week. Actually, I say that there's a function next week in the evening that may mean I have to tweak the time on this, or maybe cut it short or something like that. But I'll put that up on the website, and more importantly on the Travel Coffee Break Google Plus page. So until then, for now, goodbye. Have a good week.